Well, after a hectic 6 weeks, the Radio na Gaeltacht Senior Championship and Reserve Championship finals take place next weekend in Macrool Park. The reserve game between Donegal and St.Eunans, the senior game at 4 o'clock between St.Eunans and Glenswilly, the ultimate local derby. These teams have come through tough sections and quarter-final and semi-finals to reach this final. Gary McDaid and Maxie Curran have their teams ready and willing for what should be a cracker of a match. Glenswilly remarkably going for 3 championship victories out of 4. St.Eunans trying to win 2 out of 3. It has all the ingredients to be one of the best finals we've seen in recent years. Let's hope it will be. We've been getting the reaction from both camps in the senior final and indeed from the Dunlow camp for the reserve final and from a number of other people, experts and pundits from around Donegal. Ocean FM match analyst and former County star Pádraig McShea is with me here in the Donald Park. We're just after watching Glenswilly squeeze through against Naomh Conaill in the semi-final to set up a big derby match next weekend. Pádraig, St.Eunans against Glenswilly. It has a good ring about it.
It has a great ring about it, Charlie, and I just said I'm looking forward to it already, mind you, because there would be no love lost between the teams. A local derby always brings out the best, I think, in the opposition. It's a hard one to call. I didn't see Letterkenny or St.Eunans last night. I believe they were quite impressive. Glenswilly today showed serious character to prevail when they were down to 13 men. It's a hard one to call, but I think the bookies will probably, because of their excellence last night, St.Eunans may go into the game as slight favourites.
Yeah.
I think there's a freshness about St.Eunans this year, Charlie, and a determination about them which is significant. And I don't think that maybe a month ago people would have expected Eunans to be in the final. I saw St. Michael's playing Glenswilly a few weeks back. I was very impressed with St. Michael's. They were tough and tenacious. So that was a big win for St.Eunans last night. And I think that on this day week they will be very confident taking the pitch against Glenswilly. But from a Glenswilly perspective, Charlie, the resilience they showed there in the dying moments when they had 13 men was quite exceptional. And the other factor is, I suppose, the Michael Murphy factor. How St.Eunans deal with Michael will be, I think, ultimately critical in relation to the outcome of the match.
So a hard one to call, Pádraig.
It is a difficult one to call. St.Eunans possibly might shade it, I think, because they are that bit fresher, but any team that is a Murphy on it will be very, very hard to beat. So it should be intriguing, and as I said, I'm really looking forward to it.
Harry Watts of the Donegal News and Alan Fuller of the Donegal Democrat with me. Harry, we just watched Glenswilly reach another final to set up what is hugely anticipated as being one of the great finals because of the local derby and the local feel to it. Glenswilly against St.Eunans next weekend. Something to look forward to.
Very much so, Charlie. I mean, Glenswilly, as you and I know, the wee small parish, as they like to refer to, third final in 4 years, massive achievement for them. Super stuff.
Alan, Glenswilly coming through today. I mean, it seems like only yesterday that Kilcar beat them in the championship and we were questioning whether they'll be able to do it this year, but I suppose a similar story to last year.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, Kilcar beat them in the first game last year, Charlie, the same again this year, but I think they've shown great adaptability throughout the championship. They can get themselves out of situations. Done it again today. Naomh Conaill got back on terms, 8 apiece last minute. They had the momentum, you felt, and then Glenswilly picked off 2 points and all this for 14 men after Keelan Kelly was dismissed.
Yeah. And Harry, really, I suppose going into next week, St.Eunans are the big town club, but Glenswilly more experience in terms of championship. I think this is what, their 3rd in 4 years or something like that.
That's true, but then you look at some of the Eunans boys. I mean, you've got the likes of John Harron playing his 12th final, Rory Cabinet's his 10th final, and Rory Carr will be playing his first final. And they were saying last night actually that John Harron's first final was before Rory Carr was born. So, it makes you and I feel a wee bit old.
Absolutely.
You can see both teams, as I said, Glenswilly have played very different tactically in some games. Like they put up a huge score against Bundoran. St. Michael's, they had to get over the line by 2 points. They managed to score 1-4 and still win by 2 points. Same today. So both sides have shown their adaptability, as Eunans did last night as well, Charlie.
Harry, if you had to call it now, I mean it's a week away, but an early stage, if you had to call it Glenswilly St.Eunans, how do you see it going?
To a second game, Charlie. But possibly to replay. But I've been very impressed with Eunans a year. Some of the young guns coming through, and my predictions tend to work the opposite way. So that probably means Glenswilly will win it.
Alan?
Yeah, you've kind of caught me in the hop here, but I haven't really thought about it. But I said I've been very impressed with Eunans this year, and during the league, Maxie had a lot of young players in, but he's kind of streamlined a good solid 15 now with a good blend of youth and experience there. Glenswilly, as Harry said, have kind of nearly more experience now, so I'm just sitting on the fence for another little while yet.
That's the two of you sitting on the fence is going to fall down here with people sitting on it, you know. Plenty to write about and plenty to think about as the week goes on anyway, Harry.
Absolutely, Charlie, yeah.
Okay, thanks lads, thanks
Thank
a million. Gary McDaid, the Glenswilly's manager, is with me just after beating Niamh Conlon in a cracker of a match here to set up what is going to be a very interesting, and probably that's an understatement, final against your nearest neighbour St.Eunans.
Yeah, it's going to be huge, Charlie. It's going to be a nice local derby. It's going to, I think it'd be good for football in the county to have two teams, neighbours, you know what I mean, probably bring the best out in each other on the day, and the boys know each other inside out, and so they do the work together, go to school together, and you know what I mean. And Max would have coached a lot of our boys at county level, and I would have coached some of their boys through the college, so I mean, there won't be a one for not knowing each other anyway on the county final day.
There's a huge overlap there, but I'm sure that'll be all left just when that ball's thrown in next week, because it's a huge deal, this Glenswilly going for back-to-back championships. St.Eunans trying to win one to make it 14, so there's so much at stake, Gary.
Yeah, listen, Charlie, you touched on it there, 13 championships. St.Eunans are the benchmark, you know what I mean? Like, it's really, Charlie, next week it's like the big town club against the wee club from the country, so it is that's what's going to be billed as, and it's going to be a huge proposition, like the way St.Eunans have dealt with the league this year. I mean, the amount of players they've used, they've real strength and depth, and for us today, that performance we did there today, I think it's not been near good enough to be even competing with St.Eunans next weekend.
Well, you have a target now to set them, because back-to-back championships, I think we've spoken about it in the past. Good teams won a second championship, but great teams won back-to-back. It hasn't happened too often here in Donegal. This is the next challenge, so yourself and Maxie Curran, two of the up-and-coming young managers in the county, we can expect a very tactical sort of a match next week, Gary.
Yeah, listen, hey, back-to-back hasn't been mentioned in our circle, so it hasn't. We were champions last year, that counts for nothing right now as far as we're concerned. Like, this is a new year and there's a new title up for grabs, and that's the way we're looking at, Charlie.
Yeah. We won't move around to Donald Park, will we? We'll definitely go up to Ballynfay with the game. Be handy for the two sets of supporters.
Yeah, it would. Like, you know, we're happy enough playing here, we're happy enough playing the Glen, we're happy enough playing in Ballynfay, Charlie. As long as a pitch and two sets of goalposts, we'll play it.
Great week ahead for both clubs now, Gary.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not every year you get to a county final, and especially for a club of our size. I mean, these boys, I mean, I always talk to them about creating history and talk about the likes of St.Eunans and talk about the likes of Glenties and Killybegs and Ardra and these great clubs, you know what I mean? These boys have read a bit of history in the past, and please, Charlie, may it continue for another while yet.
Maxie Curran's with me. Maxie, I suppose, coming in St.Eunans, a big challenge for you at the start of the year. They're a big club with high expectations. Did you really expect you to be in a county final?
I did, Charlie. Well, I'm not saying I expected to be in a county final, but it was the ambition that we had. You know, when this job was first mentioned to me, it was the enthusiasm and the desire in Rory Kavanagh that what prompted me to say, right, look, we'll have a go at it. Ironically enough, I think it was the achievements of our opponents on Sunday last year, you know, that kind of touched something inside our players and said, you know, well, that can be us. You know, we're as good as them and we can do that. And you know, I think there's a tinge of regretting a lot of those players that they've underachieved at Ulster level, having won so many Donegal championships, that they could have went that further. And you know, and we spoke about that at the very first night. You know, that there's no reason why these boys can't go on and you know and win a championship and go and you know and make a serious impact at the higher level.
Talk to me about Glenswilly. I mean, they're a club that you've watched very closely and you know a lot of their players very well. They're going for 3 championships out of 4 years. I mean, it's even remarkable to be saying that about a club like Glenswilly. How highly do you rate them, Maxie?
They're a fantastic group of players in what they have achieved, you know, over the last 3 or 4 years. The level of discipline that they play in terms of their understanding of the game and their ability to stick to the game plan and their adherence to their system and the discipline that each individual brings to that, you know, to make that happen is phenomenal. You know, from a coaching perspective, you know, you look at that and you know you have to admire the way they have gone about their business. And you know, yes, they do have the marquee players, the Michael Murphys and the Neil Gallagher's, you know, and the Gary McFadden's. It's probably one of the best forwards in club football in Donegal over the last 5 years, and you know that bit's often forgotten when you talk about their better players. But you know, their strength is in their collective, you know, their unity, their willingness to go to war, you know, and do whatever has to be done, you know, whether you like it or not and whether you agree with it or not, you know they do what they've got to do, and they're very good at it. And but look at, you know,
I'll ask you a final question. Given what you've said about your team and given what you've just said about them, are St.Eunans capable of beating Glenswilly on Sunday?
By all means, there is no doubting that. It's the, what do they say, the immovable object against the irresistible force, and you know, People talk about this championship being a very congested affair, and but that brings with it serious momentum and serious belief, and people talk about the different ways of winning a game, and the tight game on Saturday night where you had a battle to get over the line by a point, compared to the match against Nivora where we won 14 to a point up at half time, and there is no end of talent in our team. When you have a leader like Rory Kavanagh who's just an inspiration to all, and the Conal Dunns and the Kevin Raffertys, there's no doubt the talent is there too. So it's just a matter of putting the whole lot together and bringing a performance that's capable of getting over this Glenswilly team, which is not easy.
Rory Kavanagh, captain of St.Eunans for the game on Sundays with me. I think already we've heard quite a lot about Sunday's game and the big derby match and the rivalry between the two clubs. Does it make a difference that it's Glenswilly that you're playing in the final, Rory?
I think it does, because just both of us know each other so well, and we've been involved in some good battles just the last couple of years, and the rivalry's, I suppose, is intense enough, Charlie. So no, it definitely adds a bit of extra spice to the occasion, and you have supporters and family, and the people working together, people at college together. You socialise with these boys, and now we're going to be enemies for a while on Sunday. So it definitely adds to the occasion. Yeah.
St.Eunans going for 2 out of 3. Glenswilly remarkably going for 3 out of 4. Given the resources that they have, but that speaks volumes to the type of club they are or have become in recent years, Rory.
Without a doubt, there's been just a revolution going on out there the last few years. A real golden generation coming through with the players that they have, and real leaders, and that's important, and they're driving the whole process forward. So, we're just happy to be back in a final again, and hopefully it'll be a big ask, of course. We've sort of a young team in transition in many ways, but I think by looking at them, they're all really looking forward to the game on Sunday.
Keelan Kelly, the captain of Glenswilly, is with me. Third final in 4 years. Keelan, that runs off the tongue fairly easily. We expect Glenswilly to be doing well, but the more finals you're in, the more expectation there is off the club.
Probably outside of the club, I suppose we have expectations on ourselves as well, Charlie. It's just great to be there. It's unbelievable to think that we'll be in three finals in 4 years. It's incredible. You have to punch yourself every year when you get this far. It's fantastic. Fantastic.
Your team manager Gary McDaden, we've already spoken to him, likes to play things down and likes to put this image about Glenswilly being the weak club and that sort of stuff. But nobody buys really into that now, Keelan, because the way the team has performed, and you were in an Ulster Club Championship final and not that far away last year as well. There's huge experience in this team playing at this level.
I don't think he's really playing it down, Charlie. We are a small club and we are from a small area, but we've probably, in many people's minds, we've overachieved in the last number of years. We got very lucky. You're saying about the run in Ulster. We got very lucky against St. Galls, I suppose, in the first game to get a run of steam ahead, but definitely we've gained experience throughout it, and hopefully it'll stand to us on Sunday.
County Chairman Sean Dunnion's with me here. The atmosphere in here, we're just starting the week, but I can sense the atmosphere already. Looking forward to the 2 matches, and I think really the senior game has caught the imagination of everybody. It's the ultimate derby match between Glenswilly and St.Eunans. Really a fitting end to what you said earlier on, Chairman, has been a very, very good championship.
It has been a great championship, Charlie. I know people were critical of the scheduling of it, and over the last 6 weeks I think it has gained great momentum, and the final now on Sunday is one that has whetted the appetite, and everybody's talking about it already.
A huge crowd on Sunday. We have 3 clubs there. Dunlow, of course, let's not forget about them, and St.Eunans in the reserve. But a lot of neutrals will be coming to see this, so that's a great occasion for the county and for the county board and G.A.A. in the county.
It is, and it has been a great year for us, as we know, and getting to the All-Ireland finals, the seniors and minors, and now this championship over the last 6 weeks has been fantastic. Great interest. The crowds have been magnificent at all the games, the round-robin games, the quarter-finals, semi-finals, and we're expecting a huge crowd there on Sunday because it really is caught the imagination, and there'll be a huge build-up over the next 4 or 5 days, and I just hope it'll be a great game. Maybe hopefully the weather will be kind to us and we get a great final, and whoever goes through then will represent us very well in Ulster, I've no doubt.
Do you want to say who the county chairman thinks might win on Sunday?
It's going to be difficult. I really feel it's going to be very, very close. Perhaps Glenswilly, their experience might bring them through, but I wouldn't be surprised if St.Eunans got one over their neighbours on Sunday.